What's up? It's your boy Phil here with the Fourth and
Whatever.
Podcast. All right, this is episode 3. Back
Talk
at it
to.
for 1, 2, 3 times.
Count
You
them
feel
up
me?
then, big dog.
Hey, shout out to our sponsor one again, Ansha. All right, Ansha means one nail sun healed all. What most people don't know is every time you buy something from Ansha, 10% of that transaction, not the profit, the whole entire transaction goes toward helping feed kids that ain't got food to eat through Feed America.
So make sure you tap into the website at ansha.us. With that, hey, make sure you go and hit the follow button on TikTok. It's fourth.and.whatever. So make sure you hit that follow button.
Hey, and if you get a chance, please, whatever platform you are listening on, make sure that you leave a review. That helps us gain a little bit of traction.
Absolutely, man. The reviews are huge. And again, thank you so much for the feedback. We talked about it in episode 2. Just the feedback from y'all has been absolutely unreal, just from the followers on TikTok, reposting those videos, and then just the download numbers that we're getting on Spotify and Apple Music and all those places. So again, make sure you stay tapped in with us. We're going to try to bring an episode weekly, if not more than weekly. But again, it's been a lot of fun so far, so stay tapped in.
Let's get it.
Perfect. So we're going off with the topic for today. This is a big one because this has to happen for me to feel like we're going to win the game. If one thing feels off, we've lost at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Hey, that's exactly how it feels.
If one thing is off at 6 o'clock in the morning, we've already lost the game at 7:30 at night. The topic is this: game day superstitions. Let me hear it.
All right, my game day superstition. So whatever outfit we have for the year, whatever I wear that first game. So if we got the polo and I wear a certain undershirt and I wear my pants a certain way with a certain belt look and a certain shoe, whatever shoes I'm wearing, them shoes gonna be the same shoes the whole season. I don't matter if I'm out here looking like Mike shoes when they fall apart. Those shoes that I'm wearing have to be the same. Okay? And then on top of that, and this one got us in the 5th round. I think you know what I'm talking about, bro.
Oh.
So we started a superstition, kind of a tradition in the playoffs where we went to Chipotle before every game in the playoffs.
Don't do it to me.
Look, bro. Who would have thought the one Chipotle near the stadium in Waco would shut down randomly?
Not only randomly, as we pull up, a dude is sweeping up a bucket full of chips that have been spilled all over the floor.
Yeah.
Buddy, when we did not get that food, I was absolutely devastated.
I was distraught, bro.
Because I knew at that moment,
some random stuff's gonna go wrong today.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be crazy. So I do have a question for you about your superstition.
Yeah.
So if you do all these things on the first game, what happens if we lose the first game? Now what?
I'm gonna see it through. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna see it through. Cause typically, if we lose, especially the game we lost during the season this past year, I felt like it had nothing to do with superstitions. It had a lot to do with us needing to make some type of certain adjustments. Now you fast forward to when we lose in the playoffs, that felt like some stuff I couldn't control.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker, man.
And it happened after the Chipotle fell through.
And I'm gonna be honest with you, when Chipotle fell through and we were unloading those bags at McLean Stadium, like everything in my body wanted to just make a trip all the way to Temple just to get Chipotle.
Yeah.
Like I was beside myself, like, there ain't no way that this Chipotle is messed up right now. And then on top of that, let's just not forget that Chipotle still has not reimbursed you your money back.
Why you got to bring that up, bro?
Because you did buy it online.
I took 2 L's, bro.
And you definitely did not get reimbursed that money back. So a trip to Waco is definitely on the horizon.
That makes sense, too, why I was so salty for so long, bro. I had low-key forgot about the money.
No, I didn't. You know, you want to know why I didn't forget about it?
Why?
Because I had to Cash App you some money as well. So we both took a L on that day.
Without a doubt, bro.
And nothing hurt more than not being able. And listen, my Chipotle order is literally the most basic order you could possibly have. This is it. If you didn't know, this is the Chipotle hack right here.
Let's see it.
You get a bowl.
Okay.
You ask them for 3 scoops of rice because the rice is bottomless.
Okay.
Now, I'm gonna talk from my bowl, not from all you nasty people who put the
Why we gotta be nasty? Why
veggies.
can't we be different?
No, all the veggies and stuff. That's dead. You get 2 scoops of chicken and steak on top of that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a veggie person, throw your little nasty veggies on top and your guacamole and your sour cream. I will not do those things. But if you are those people, do those things.
Every time I will.
And then nasty. And then put cheese on top of it. Then you have the server go back to the start and put another scoop of rice on top of all of that because it's bottomless.
Yeah.
You have them close that up. When you go to check out, you also buy 2 tortillas. Their tortillas are only 50 cents.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So now you have 2 tortillas for an extra dollar. Now you have 2 burritos for the price of 1. That is the Chipotle hack.
Hey, you're a finesser, my boy.
I'm telling you, hey, we talked about it in the last episode that inflation going up, but the money ain't.
Hey.
So I got to make sure I stay above reproach or they going to be getting me because you know as well as I know when you go to Chipotle, they try to skimp you on the meat.
They skimp you on the meat, and every Chipotle got different prices.
I figured that out. They do have because we went to 5 different Chipotles.
Yeah, 5 different prices.
And I'm thinking like, okay, I'm gonna go in here and pay a smooth little 15, 19 for my meal. We went to the place up like north of Kingwood.
Yeah.
Them bad boys ringed mine up $21. I looked at this lady like, who? Now, at that point, she already made the bowl, so I had to pay the $21. But I was super pressed because I'm like, everywhere I go, my meal is 15, 19, except for here.
Yeah.
So I was super confused, but that is the hack as far as that. So any more superstitions for you on game day?
Not too many, really. And I think it's because of me being in the box kind of forced me not to have to do that as much as I would if I was on the field.
Yeah, that's a good point because when you're on the field, you're kind of more superstitious on things.
Yeah.
Before I jump into my superstitions, I want to make sure I give a shout out to the Lady Cats.
Yeah.
The Lady Cats, they're in the 4th round of the playoffs against Barbers Hill. They're playing them at Deer Park. The only reason, not the only reason, but a big reason I'm talking about the Lady Cats is, one, the head coach herself is super superstitious.
Yeah.
You see what I did there? I really didn't even mean to set that up.
2
But
supers for y'all.
yeah, super superstitious. So something that she was telling me, I was talking to her today about it, and something she was telling me is they have to take the same bus every time they're in the playoffs. They will not take a different bus. So let me give you a rundown of this story she told me.
I didn't even know this.
Yeah, they're taking bus 724, and I don't care what's wrong with it. You're fixing it because that's what we're taking.
And loading up.
Yeah, so the last round, it was raining. They were coming home, the windshield wipers messed up, right? They messed up. So they were like going up, out, and then they like froze in the middle. Well, then they pull over, they got to try to get the windshield wipers undone. They start moving again. The windshield wipers do it again.
Oh, snap.
So, when they make it back, they're writing in the comments like, hey, the windshield wipers are messed up. But we're taking bus 724 next week on that playoff game.
Know that.
So I don't know what y'all got to do, but this bus got to get fixed.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know, which I went back and looked. If you look at all the coaches and all their pictures, they stand in the same exact place on every picture.
Nah.
Yeah, so the head coach is always on the far right, and they foul in from right, being Coach Rubio, all the way across to the edge. They will take every single picture like that. I did not know that until she told me about it. And then the last superstition she told me about, which she didn't really have to tell me, I see it on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
She's going to sit in the outfield.
Oh, yeah.
And take a picture of them toes.
Got to put the dogs out.
she said, we got to put the woofers out there.
The woofers.
So just know, and the best thing about it is if she ever forgets, you're going to get that picture after the game.
Yeah.
That picture will be posted on Facebook. You best believe.
Yeah.
And I don't know when she started that superstition, but I mean, she is a pretty significant coach.
Pretty successful.
I mean, 2 trips to the state championship, 1 state title. She's doing something right.
Yeah.
So if posting the toes on Facebook means it's going to put a ring on my finger, the toes are coming out.
Not going to lie, mine not, bro. I let the whole hood down if I do that, bro.
Buddy, do not let them jungle runners out of them shoes,
Ain't no
boy.
way.
Do not let them jungle runners out of them shoes, boy. Nah, but for real, it's crazy like how different people have superstitions. So give me your thoughts on Coach Rubio's superstition as far as softball goes.
I mean, who am I to hate, bro? She wins. She gets results. So superstition's doing something, bro.
You gotta stick to
Because
them.
I mean, let's think about this superstition. A lot of people be like, if you trust God, you ain't gotta be superstitious. But you could flip that and say, I got faith that if I continue this superstition, I will continue to be successful. And she's continued to be successful year in and year out.
This is true.
So I'm a little stitious, you feel me?
Tight.
And I think she's doing the right thing by being a little stitious, you feel me?
Tight, hey, be stitious then, big dog. So we're gonna jump over into some of the little superstitions I'm in, and I'll be honest with you. Mine like go all the way down to like the fine detail.
Yeah.
Like I'm very first off, I have insomnia. We talked about this episode
Mm-hmm.
1. So, I'm up late anyway, so that don't matter. And then 2, like things have to be done. When it comes to my superstition, I'm a for sure OCD about it.
Mm-hmm.
So my superstition actually starts Thursday night. So if Thursday night doesn't go right, again, I talked about being messed up at 6 in the morning. If Thursday night doesn't go right, Friday's just a hellhole. You know what I'm saying? So Thursday night, for my people who are just audio listeners, I'm a 30-year-old bald-headed guy. So after our JV game, I do not care what time I get home. My head has to be shaved.
Yeah.
It has to be shaved. So on Thursday night is when I shave my head. Also, on Thursday night, my clothes from the previous Friday that I wore on game day, those clothes do not go into the washer until Thursday night. I know that sounds really
But
nasty.
do you gotta be the one to put them in?
Yes, I have to put them in, and I put them in a certain order. They don't just get thrown in there.
Oh snap.
We're going boxers, pants, polo, pullover, pregame shirt, pregame joggers,
Mm-hmm.
socks, and socks. If it's not done like that, it's a problem. You know what I'm saying? It has to be done like that. So pretty much, let me jump forward real quick. After Friday night's game, when I get home, my clothes get taken out and they get put in a special bin that during football season, nothing else goes in there. It is strictly for game day attire.
Dang.
So after that, so jump back now to Thursday.
Mm-hmm.
My clothes get in the wash. They go to the dryer. Then the next morning, after my clothes are dried and I'm waking up and I'm getting ready to go, it starts off with the boxers. The boxers go on first, then my socks, then my joggers, then my pullover shirt. It has to go in that order. And then I'm going to wear the same game day shoes that I don't wear at any other time throughout the week
Yeah.
besides on game day. And I'm going to have the game day hat, which FYI, next year's game day hat will say, make fullbacks great again.
Hey, you speaking to my soul, bro.
It's going to be tough. Make fullbacks great again. I'm a fullback and tight end coach. So, yes, I love my tight ends, but I love my fullbacks too.
Yeah.
And that's a lot easier to put on a hat. So make
Yeah.
fullbacks great again. So that will be next year's hat going into the game. But then once I get going, like I said, when I get to school, so when I leave the house, every Friday morning, I go to the same burrito shop and get the exact same burrito.
You go to Early Bird or where?
Early Bird every time.
Yeah.
They have the best burritos in Angleton, Texas.
Yeah.
Trust me when I say that.
Hey, R.I.P. A-Hot, bro.
A-Hot was it.
It was the one.
But if you put me on my first year here when you had to bring food on that Saturday,
Yeah.
that's when I had an A-Hot the first time. And I was like, wow, this may be the best breakfast burrito I've ever had.
I think it is.
Yes, I agree. But Early
Bird's a
close second.
Good second.
A solid second.
Yeah.
So I go get my breakfast burrito. I eat my breakfast burrito. I go throughout my day. So throughout the day, there's no superstitions going on. But once we pull up to the stadium,
Mm-hmm.
my pregame will start with a hoodie shirt that probably says Angleton on it.
Yeah.
My joggers and my game day shoes. And that will be in the entire pregame. I know that some coaches like to get dressed already in pregame, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I will not go out there in my game day shirt and sweat through that thing. Again, I sweat like a freight train. I'm bald headed.
Yeah.
So I sweat through stuff like that. That simple. I'm already through it.
Hmm.
So once we go back in and we're coming out for national anthem, that is when my game day shirt goes on. That is when my game day hat comes off and my game hat comes on. Now, if anybody knows me, they know that I am a hat-aholic.
Yeah.
I have more hats than I even know what to do with. My game day hat may be the grossest hat anyone
Yeah.
has ever seen. So if anybody knows what the Angleton purple looks like, it's like a dark purple.
Yeah.
Well, my game day hat is a faded, dark ish color.
And stiff.
And game day, because again, I don't wear that hat just wherever. It's a game day hat. And so, yeah, it's super stiff. Like I could probably knock somebody out with it if I hit them with it. But here's the deal. One time, just one time,
Yeah.
my wife washed one of my hats. That hat had to go in the trash can. I couldn't use it anymore. Like literally all the good juju on it has been washed off. So
You don't want to take a chance, put it back on?
I couldn't. Not only did it not feel right, it didn't even fit right on my oval ass head. So it just didn't even make sense to even try to put it on anymore.
Hey, you know the story of Sodom and Gomorrah with Lot
Yeah.
and his wife looking back,
Yeah.
and she turned to a pillar of salt?
Yes.
That's your hat.
Yes.
That's how stiff that mug is.
Yes. It's super stiff. Super
Yeah.
stiff. But I put on the game day hat. And then again, after the game, same thing. I have to take off my game day stuff and put on my pregame stuff. And that's when we start the film breakdown. So that's kind of my superstition on game day. Again, it's very detailed and it has to be done like that. So the question I asked you is, what do I do when there's a loss? I'm a lot different than you.
What you do, bro?
On the loss, I actually changed my game day hat that game. And
Okay.
not a lot of people knew that I did that, but I changed my game day hat to a different game day hat. And then we rode that wave all the way up to Smithson Valley. Now, understand, I do not put my superstitions of my attire on the Smithson Valley game.
Yeah.
That entire loss doesn't even go on Angleton. That loss goes to Chipotle.
Yeah, we need to be reimbursed, really. And I'm not just talking about the $32 I spent on the app.
Yes.
We need to be reimbursed the ring, bruh. Run me my ring, bruh.
That's all I need. That's all I need. I need the ring. I need the ring, and I need them to reimburse the charter trip,
Yeah.
the hotel,
Yeah.
everything.
It was a waste of time. It felt like.
I mean, after the Chipotle didn't work, like I was like, shot through the heart, and you're to blame.
Hold on.
Give love a bad name. Like that's how I felt. Like that was literally what Chipotle did to me because it had been so faithful to me.
Yeah. Hey, think about, too, when we got to McLean and we didn't realize how far we about to walk them bags, bruh. And we had to do it on an empty stomach.
Not only that, we unloaded the trailer in the hallway
Yeah.
for then a guy to show up and tell us, hey, actually, buddy, y'all are down the hallway.
Yeah.
So we unloaded everything and then had to move everything and
And the dude that was gatekeeping over there, literally gatekeeping the door. They made us put the stuff in initially.
Yes.
Hey, and you got into him at one point, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I was pressed. Because here's the deal. I didn't eat breakfast because I was banking on the Chipotle.
Yep.
So now I was pressed with this guy because I'm hangry.
Yeah.
That's a real thing. I was hangry. And so for my fans who have never been in McLean Stadium and underneath McLean Stadium, it was a smooth about 50-yard walk with,
Yeah.
and when we're talking about bags, we're talking about like a bag that carries helmet, shoulder pads, pants, cleats, a backpack,
Yeah.
a boom box. Like they put all types of stuff in
Yeah.
there. So like when we're carrying these, like one bag, is maybe a small guy, and it's like, okay, I could carry a lot of these. And then the next one I'm carrying the biggest offensive lineman's bag who has like his helmet is like a double X, and you're like, big neck ass boy.
You got the brick cleats in there.
Yeah, he got them wolf with cleats in there. Like, golly. So, yeah, so there's my superstitions for what that looks like. And again, I know I'm very picky. And again, I know superstitions may not be a real thing. But for me,
You feel like it.
it will forever be a real thing. And to even make matters worse, my wife is super superstitious as well.
Yeah, she be getting Skittles, right?
She does. She takes, so 9 times out of 10, hopefully none of NRGs or McLean's people are gonna hear me, but I sneak a Sam's Club damn near bag of Skittles into every game
Oh, yep, we got them.
to give to my wife so she can have Skittles for the game because again, we've talked about this in the last episode. Inflation's up.
Yeah.
And we're not going to no stadium and buying those Skittles for $4 for a shareable bag.
Yeah, no, we get
When
the
we could
family
just buy,
size.
we could buy a supersize. You know,
Yeah.
man, McDonald's should do a supersize that bad boy for me, which was crazy because if you ever looked at the supersize, it literally was a large.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
Hey, what are all the Wendy's is biggie size, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Biggie size. You know what large I don't ever get, no matter what? A large drink from Whataburger. That mug is insane.
Dude, it's huge.
Bruh, I say give me a medium drink and a large fry. They are not in the same category.
But when you go with a large from Whataburger, it's a legit 64 ounces.
Yeah, every time I'm upset that I got this jug in my car now, bruh.
And I'm gonna just tell you this: if you're getting a large drink from Whataburger, especially like a soda, and you're finishing that in like less than 30 minutes,
Yeah, your kidney's screaming.
I'm sorry to break it to you, you're a psycho. I mean, it's just facts. Like that's wild.
Without a doubt. Hey, you did remind me. I did have another superstition that started last year.
Okay.
Because last year, inflation's up.
Yeah.
I couldn't afford to go get my hair cut. So on Thursday nights or Friday morning.
So
Either one. I'm gonna wake up and I'm gonna cut my own hair.
Bad.
Okay, just so I look halfway decent. And then once we got to the Porter game, another one started where I don't know if you realize I'd be ducked off before the game sometimes. It's because I was doing quiet time.
Like, I never noticed that.
I was finding somewhere where I could just be kind of by myself. And usually I go scout out the press box.
Yeah.
McLean again, bro. That walk. I
But
timed it, bro.
You ran a marathon.
Yeah. That was a light jog took, I think, 5 minutes to get from the press box to the field.
Yeah, I was super curious why at like halftime when you came down, you were breathing real hard, like you just ran a mile run.
Yeah, I did. I ran an 800 at least. And it was more than 800 because they in the top there, the press box in the top left corner.
Yeah.
You got to go all the way down to the other side of the press box up there.
Yeah.
Get on the elevator. You got to run around the half oval, and then you got to run across the field. And that's if the band wasn't there. Luckily, I think I timed it right where I could get across the field. Ran across the field and then got to the locker room.
Yeah. I will be honest with you. I'm very, very thankful that I am not in the box because I can't feel the game from there.
You and me both. I got ADHD, bro, and so it'd be some games I gotta like make myself refocus because especially you got the little kids that sit in front of the press box.
Oh, and want to talk to you the whole time.
When they try to talk mess to you, that mess is wild because I look like a grown man talking mess to a little kid. So usually we get one of the coaches to go tell their parents.
Nah, y'all petty.
Hey,
y'all are
hey,
petty
come
and
get
childish.
Him. Hey, come get him. And usually that solves it though.
Well, I know that our OC one time talked about we were at Lake Creek.
Yep, I was up there.
It was my first game. No, my first year here, and we played Lake Creek there.
Yep.
Remember, that's when we almost died in the Suburban going there.
Oh, that's a whole story.
That story, when in a couple episodes, our conversation on the topic will be funny stories in the Suburban.
Yeah.
And I promise you, and when we do that, we will make sure that we co-host Coach Torres on that one.
Yeah, and hopefully Coach Greaves can come through too.
Yes, and Coach Greaves can come through because there are some stories in the Suburban that are very, very funny.
Yeah.
And we got to make sure that you know about those. But yes, that is a trip to Lake Creek that we almost died there and back. But that's another story for another time. Dora was telling me about, Dora talked about a couple times when you would go, y'all would be up there, and he was like, in Lake Creek, it was, you remember, we're playing this game in late August, early September.
Yeah.
So it is scorching hot.
It was like the windows up there were steaming.
Yes. And I remember him opening up a window and Dora telling me that there were kids talking trash to him because they were winning. And we almost made a comeback in that game,
Mm-hmm.
but they were talking trash to him from the window. And it's like at that point, like you can't say nothing to them. Like you're not only are you losing,
Yeah.
but this is again what we talked about in the last episode. Them nasty fourth grade boys who
Yeah.
think that they're super cool, so they got to sit at the top of the stadium
Mm-hmm.
with their friends, and you know that their moms and dads are way down there thinking they're being really good kids, and they're at the top using foul language for no reason.
Talking
You
mess
know,
to coaches, bruh.
no doubt. The best thing they're thinking they're talking crazy when they're saying sit your ass down. It's like okay, buddy, chill
Yeah.
out, chill out. But yeah, so any more superstitions?
No, you just remind me of the quiet time and the haircut, and those
That
definitely mine.
that's huge, man. And again, I think that's a good thing. I get a lot of my quiet time done either on the way to the game, like if I have my AirPods on,
Yeah.
or like when I'm there, like because we usually get there about 30 minutes before we walk out. Put my headphones on right there and just kind of lock into whatever the game plan is
Yeah.
and make sure the guys are feeling good. All those things.
Got it down.
But with that, we're about to jump into the whatever topic and understand this is going to be a very controversial topic.
Yeah.
Not because it's a political one, but because we live in an area where the Rockets are the king team
Yeah.
in this area. But can we talk about how the NBA may be the most rigged type of sporting event to date? Like it's crazy. I mean, think about this. You let go of Luca, one of the best
Mm-hmm.
players to ever play in the National Basketball League. Now, again, not the best,
Just one of them.
One of them. He would be right now at least. Think about the hundreds and thousands of players that play. He would at least be in the top 20 right now.
Yeah.
And the Dallas Cowboys traded him away.
Not the Dallas Cowboys.
Why did I say the Cowboys? Why did I say the Dallas Cowboys? You see, that's how much my brain is just jogged right now by this situation.
Yeah.
Because the Dallas Mavericks traded away Luka for the injury-prone Anthony Davis.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just mind blown. Like, how did Nico, the GM of the Mavericks, literally wake up one day and say, you know what, team? Didn't even tell the team. Woke up and had an epiphany by himself and just said, you know what? I think I'm going to trade away Luka, the superstar.
And they even tried to sorry to interrupt you, but they tried to make that whole thing about him being out of shape and all that different stuff. And
Yeah. That was, I mean, I hate that they tried to give him a negative narrative.
yeah.
Because if you know Luka, which again, I am not a Mavericks fan whatsoever. I'm really not an NBA fan.
Yeah.
But if you know Luka was everything Dallas Mavericks.
Yep.
That's the team that drafted him. He loved the Mavericks.
Yeah.
So for this GM to literally wake up and just think, you know what? I think I'm gonna trade him away, not to just anybody, but to the Los Angeles Lakers.
Yeah.
Who has LeBron James on the team. Like, I just don't understand. I'm going to just tell you this. When I watched and read the headlines from Dallas, people were coming for his neck.
Yeah.
I mean, they were like, what are we doing? This is a dumpster fire. Fire that guy.
Yeah.
Now, with all of that being said, why we're talking about the NBA being rigged? So when I just looked at the projections,
Mm-hmm.
you had the Brooklyn Nets who had an 8% chance to get the lottery pick in the NBA. 8%, which is huge, which means they had a lot of like picks inside of that rolly thing that they use.
Yeah.
The Dallas Mavericks had a 1.8% chance.
Favor ain't fair.
But
favor ain't fair, my boy.
1.8. Listen to me. I have a better chance of getting struck by lightning than the Dallas Mavericks had of getting the number 1 pick in the NBA draft.
Yeah, but that's what the NBA does, bro. Because you can look back to when Wemby got drafted. There was no reason why he didn't go to Houston.
And again, we live in an area where I know they were pressed.
Yeah. It just didn't make sense. Wemby, that pick was supposed to be Wemby in Houston. Imagine if we ended up with Wemby and Thompson right now.
That'd be wild.
Defense would be insane.
Dude, that would be absolutely crazy to have Wemby and Thompson there. More so because the Rockets actually play some pretty good
They
defense.
do.
So now you're gonna give me a rim protector and Wemby,
Yeah.
who's when he picks his arms up, he can put his wrist through the goal.
Yeah, I can't even imagine that, bro.
Yeah, we talked about this episode
Yeah,
one.
I can barely reach the top shelf in my pantry, bro.
You got a step stool?
Watch out, bro.
Come on, man.
I can still jump a little bit.
How high?
We did. Hey, remember we did our verticals not too long ago,
Oh
bro.
yes, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
I'm rocking a cool 20 inches about right now. No, I got 2 feet. I got 24.
You did.
I got
You did.
24.
And I'm gonna tell you this. I don't really remember what I got. I just know that after I jumped, my knees asked me, "What the
Hey.
hell?"
Yeah.
My back said, "Who are you?"
Yeah.
And my ankles were legit screaming like a madman. So
Yeah.
just know I'm not doing no jumping.
No more verticals for me, bro.
No. That's absolutely dead. Absolutely dead. But back to the picks. So 1.8% chance of getting the number one NBA draft pick.
Yeah.
And out of the midst of the air, Dallas Mavericks get the number one pick after they've just traded away their superstar.
Yeah.
Now, come on. Let's stop talking crazy.
Hey, Mark pulling strings, I'm telling you.
Here's the deal. Mark is barely in charge in Dallas. Nico is the man.
I'm just saying, Mark got money and can talk, bro.
Buddy, Mark must have had somebody come on Shark Tank. He must have got somebody on Shark Tank and said, hey, y'all need to figure this out.
Yeah.
So, somebody came up with some little smart little thing and Dallas got the number one pick. So we already know, we've already done our research on the guys, and I'm not even going to go into super depth. I'm literally going to give you the number one pick.
Yeah.
It's going to be Cooper Flag.
Gotta be.
We're picking Cooper Flag from Duke. I don't know why I said weird because I'm not a Dallas fan, but the Dallas Mavericks are going to pick up Cooper Flag. Now, I'm going to tell you what I like about Cooper. The fact that he's 6'9" and plays a shooting guard position, that's a problem.
Big one.
Now, there's guys in the NBA that are that big. I mean, you got a lot of shooting guards. I mean, look at KD. He's 7 feet and really good shooting guard.
Yeah.
But Cooper Flag, watching him at Duke was like a different level just because Duke is the perennial NCAA basketball school.
My favorite thing was watching his mama flex on other fans, bro. That mess had me higher. I'm not gonna lie, bro.
Hey, I'm gonna just say this right now. If Cooper Flag is my son, I'm flexing on everybody.
They're gonna hate to see me coming.
They're gonna hate to see me because I'm gonna just tell you right now, that's my son.
Yeah.
I'm letting everybody know he's him.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you want to say. I mean, you're him. He's him. So again, we already know who the Dallas Mavericks are gonna pick up. They're going Cooper Flag number one. And you can come back to this podcast in a couple weeks and say, wow, you were right. Yeah. Again, not that I'm doing anything special. Again, you can get on any ESPN website and know that Cooper Flag is going number one. He is and was the best player in the NCAA.
Yeah, not close.
Now, something that is kind of crazy and it kind of, blew my mind a little bit is that you have the Spurs coming in at number 2. And you have the Rockets coming in at number 10. So right now, it's tough to be a Texas person with a Texas NBA team. I mean, you have 3 teams who all have a top 10 pick, and that could make things a little difficult. I mean, because again, you're adding somebody with Wemby, which is going to be really good. And don't get me wrong, Cooper Flag going to Dallas, buddy, you're going about to be partnered with Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
You're not going to a bad situation. I mean, you're talking about one of the best point guards to ever play the game.
Yeah, bro. I still wish that somehow him and LeBron would have stayed together. I know they had a little moment, and Kyrie came back and apologized that he was young and dumb and kind of tripping.
Yeah.
I think if they stayed together, it's no telling how good they would have been in Cleveland.
They really would have been really good. I mean, and I hate to see LeBron leave Cleveland, somewhere that he loves and he cherishes and he calls home, as somewhere that he wants to really be at. But I'm going to be very curious to see, because now Cooper Flag doesn't have to be the dude.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? He could literally just be a role player at this point
Mm-hmm.
because Kyrie's gonna be able to score when he wants to. He's Kyrie Irving.
Yeah.
I mean, again, you watch the dude play one of, if not the best point guard in the NBA right now.
And his game translates for longevity too. You got ball handling, you got a high IQ, and he can knock down the shots that he needs to. You feel me?
Absolutely. And he can score when he wants to. You know,
Yep.
he reminds me a lot of LeBron as far as when it's time for me to score, I score.
Yeah.
When it's time for me to be an assist master, I assist.
Yeah.
So I think that's really cool. The other thing I'm going to give you with the Spurs is their pick. I think they have a really good opportunity to get Dylan Harper. He plays for the Rutgers.
Yeah.
And that dude can hoop as well. I mean, can hoop.
I gotta check him out.
So get on the checkout of Cooper Flag, Dylan Harper. Both of those dudes are going to be high profile guys in the draft. I think they'll go 1-2. If they don't, you did not hear it here first. But if they do, you heard it here first with
Straight
me.
like that.
And again, all my facts are just coming directly from ESPN. So you really heard it from somebody else, and we won't name that person because I don't know either. But the last thing I'll say on the NBA is, can we talk about Jason Tatum? Last night,
Yeah.
it's getting crazy.
I knew it though, because I tore mine. Tore
Yeah.
my Achilles. So I knew as soon as he went down, even my wife said the same thing. It's like when he fell down and grabbed the back of his ankle and there was no contact and no one around, it was like an immediate like, dang, I really hope he didn't tear. But the way he reacted, like it had to, that jolt that you feel when that mug pops, it's something that you can't describe, bro.
See, and what's crazy is over the last like 5 years, we've seen superstars
Yeah.
with that. Really, we'll say over the last 10. You start really off with Kobe
Yeah.
tearing his.
Well, she's a dog for getting up and shooting his free throw still.
I'm talking about straight dog.
Yeah.
Then you go to Kevin Durant, who tears his. Then you go to Jason Tatum. You hate to see it.
Yeah.
Because again, you know, when I'm looking at the stuff on ESPN about what that looks like, recovery time, you're looking at 8 to 12 months. I mean,
if you're lucky.
Yeah, if you're lucky. So pretty much his entire season of the 2026 season is done.
Yeah.
I mean, he's going to be in straight recovery mode. Now, look at KD. Now he's still a superstar. He still came back and he's still really good. And Jason Tatum, still really young and is going to be able to do those same things. So we're not really worried about what he's going to be able to do. But that's a big blow to the Celtics. Yeah. And that's going to be something that they have to make sure that in the draft, they get somebody who can score.
Yeah.
Because he is the heart and soul of the Boston Celtics.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, we'll go through the last, if you're watching the NBA, we'll give you a quick rundown of what all the series look like. Again, by the time this episode comes out, we'll be a little further along, but the series look like this. The Thunder and the Nuggets, that series is tied 2-2 right now. I'll be honest with you. I really like the Thunder, but I cannot bet against the Joker. I would be a fool to bet against the Joker.
I honestly, bro, I just want to see Russ. I like to see him win because he gets so much. He gets talked about so bad, so randomly. It feels like, and yes, he ain't what he used to be, but he ain't as bad as they try to make him out to be.
But his shooting this year has
drastically improved.
Has turned up. Another guy on the Nuggets team that people are not talking about, if you're watching the NBA, Gordon.
Yeah,
for the Nuggets. If you would have seen that dude 3 or 4 years ago, all he could do is rebound the ball and dunk the ball.
Yeah.
Now, leave him open on the 3 if you want to.
Yeah.
He will stroke that
knockdown.
Thing. Foul. Yeah, it's a knockdown. I mean, I'm not saying he's Stephen Curry knockdown, but for a guy who plays the 4, I'll take that 2 for 3 from the 3-point line all day.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, still isn't scared to get in the trenches and go grab boards.
Yeah.
So you got to love that. So that's the Thunder and the Nuggets. You jump over. So tonight, again, when you get this episode, this will already have happened. The Pacers won the series against the Cavaliers.
Yeah.
A 1 seed and a 4 seed. I'm going to just tell you this. I have not been all that impressed with Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah.
I mean, last year I think he got a lot of hype because he took them to the playoffs. But a 1 seed from the Cavs, I just didn't see it. I thought that they were good, but I can't. Again, Tyrese Halliburton,
Halliburton.
Hard for me to bet against that guy.
Yeah.
Just because, again, he can score really at will.
Mm-hmm.
You jump down into the Knicks and the Celtics game. The Knicks lead that series 3-1.
Knicks
We
going,
just
yeah.
we just talked about that one. So, I'm kind of thinking the Knicks are going to pull that one off. That's a 3-2 matchup. And I think the Knicks have a lot of really good pieces.
Yeah, Brunson's been going crazy.
And I know Dallas really misses him right now.
Yeah.
If he was with Dallas and you add Cooper Flag, you got
A nice little squad.
a legit NBA championship tier team.
Yeah.
So I like the Knicks in that one. Now, the one that's really tricky is the Timberwolves and the Warriors. Now, I know that it's a 3-1 lead for the Timberwolves, and it's really, really, really hard for me to bet against Edwards.
Yeah.
Just because he is like a spitting image of how Michael Jordan played his game.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's kind of who his role model is.
Like it could be his pops, bro.
Definitely. He definitely looks like it could be his pops. But to me, this series comes down to if Steph makes it back for game 5.
I just don't see it, bro.
I don't see it either because it's a hamstring problem.
Yeah.
And obviously with us being football coaches, we know a lot about hamstring problems.
Yeah.
I do think that it will go 3-2. I think the Warriors will win the next one.
Mm-hmm.
But then I think the Timberwolves put them away in that next game.
It was the talk Bron had with him after that game, bro. The last game.
I agree.
Because he been turned up the whole series, it seems like.
So hear me out. So if we're picking the champion again, because we can do this because we're already ahead of schedule.
Yeah.
Also, if you're curious, right now, again, you won't know this, but the Thunder and the Nuggets just tipped off right now. Give me the Nuggets by 3 points. That's what I think that's going to be. But the Pacers or the Knicks, who do you like going to the championship out of the Pacers and the Knicks?
I think the Knicks. I think Brunson's the way he's playing right now. Who's gonna stop him, bro?
I agree. I just think you got to keep Halliburton in check.
Yeah.
If you don't keep him in check, I think it could be a problem.
Yeah.
Okay. And then if we're going off of guessing, the Wolves or the Nuggets?
I want it to be I wanted to be the Nuggets. No, I don't. I want it to be the Wolves. I want it to be the Wolves just so now we get the whole new narrative of the new face of the NBA with Edwards.
Okay.
You got me? But the Nuggets are the most experienced team in the playoffs, it seems like right now, especially with Tatum going down.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna go Wolves.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Wolves because I wanted the Warriors to honestly win one with the trades or whatever, with getting Jimmy Butler and all that.
Yeah.
I thought that'd be a cool story to watch basically like watching the old heads say we still got it.
For sure.
But I don't think that's gonna happen right now, especially with Steph being down.
Yeah.
Steph is the heart and soul of the Warriors. No way you look at it. Draymond brings a whole bunch. Jimmy always shows up, but even Jimmy saying, I'm the sidekick now because he's actually got to play with Steph.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna end up being the Timberwolves, and I think the Timberwolves can pull it off, bro.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go opposite of you. I'm going with the Nuggets here.
Yeah.
Just because, again, it's hard for me to bet against the Joker. He's just a guy that, in the offseason, the dude literally goes back to Serbia and just takes care of his horses. He does no basketball playing. He does no workouts. When you look at him, he has a dad bod.
Without a doubt.
Doesn't look like he's athletic whatsoever. But the dude to go out on a random night and drop a triple-double like it's nothing, and after the game be like, yeah, we played all right. We just got to keep winning.
Yeah.
It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, stop downplaying what you just did, bro.
Okay, so if we're going to championship game, you call the T-Wolves and the Knicks.
Yeah.
Who do you got?
Bruh. I just think if we saying the NBA's rigged, I think it got to be the Wolves, bruh.
To give Edwards his first one.
Yeah.
I can see it. I definitely can see where you come from if we're saying the NBA's rigged.
Yeah.
I think the Nuggets are going to win it again. I just think the Joker is just too good. I just think he brings too much to the table. And then again, the pieces around him is what's incredible. Because everybody out there are true role players. They understand how to play their role, and they don't try to do anything extra in that role. You know what I'm saying? So I think when you're doing that, you put yourself in a situation where you have a guy who is really, really, really good, and he can put himself in a situation where he can score at will and doesn't really have to worry about all the pieces around him because, again, he's going to go get a triple-double just by himself.
Yeah.
So he just needs guys to grab boards, be in position when he grabs the board, and he's an assist master. I mean, he's getting a triple-double with 10 of those being assists.
Hey, be honest, bro. You like him because of Prize Picks, bro.
Okay. You're right.
Yeah, bro.
He's a prospect king. I'm going to pick him on prospect every time. He's a prospect king. So I'm going to pick him on prospect every time. But with that being said, man, we're going to wrap up episode 3. Thank you so much for tuning in and listening to Fourth and
Whatever.
Make sure you go follow the TikTok at fourth.and.whatever. Peace.